There was a woman that came in. She was kind of elderly. She was talking about this 90th birthday celebration that her and all of her siblings were putting together for their mother, and they were on a budget. And it was just like, what could I do to give them this over the top cake? And she just sold me on this idea that, you know, this mom wasn't expected to live 90 years. She's battled and overcome cancer. Amazing story. And they were on a budget. So then her sister comes in and they're just like, oh, I don't think we can afford to shop here. Like they did a whole thing. It wasn't a hustle. They were being truthful. Like I'm on a budget when it comes to this portion of the party, right? I'm buying a cake that I want to have sparklers and I want it to look like it's coming out at a club in Vegas, but also we're on a budget, right? So I remember I felt bad. I wanted to be a part of this celebration. I thought, oh God, you know, she overcame all this stuff. And so I compromised on the price. I know you've been there because you hear someone's sob story and sometimes it's worthy, right?
You became sympathetic.
I was extremely sympathetic. I'm an empath always though. I'm always like, oh my God, what if it was my mom, you know? So I gave them this ridiculously insane deal. And then I remember telling them I'll deliver it for free, like, cause it was local. So I pull up at this house, you guys, and it's a fucking estate. It's like they have a valet parking, all these fancy cars outside. Turns out this family's loaded and they had more than enough money to buy this cake, right? They've got tents set up everywhere in the backyard. It's like a wedding, basically. There's people playing live music. Like, it's amazing. And all I could think about was, well, this cake that took me 25 hours to make because I devalued what my charges were or what my prices were because I wanted to be a part of this and I felt bad for them. This was the cheapest thing here. And it probably was the thing that took the absolute longest. And it was the star of the party, you guys. People are not taking pictures of the tents. They're not taking pictures of the invitations. They're taking pictures of the cake. Yeah. So let me know if you'd be pissed. I want to see your comments. And I almost like don't want to say anything else until you let me know. How would you feel knowing that you discounted by several $100s, but you pull up to basically P. Diddy's estate and they're having a party, stepping in the name of love. Can you do that anymore? And you just devalued what took you 20 hours to make, right? So how would you feel about that?
Well, I would
how would you feel?
I would feel horrible. What I would feel is that
this is exactly what I wanted to see. So Vanessa said, what a bitch. Definitely happened to me. Yes, I'd be pissed, right? So I love this. I just set you up. It's not their fault. It's yours. It's never your customer's fault. It's always yours.
And here's a key thing.
Super annoyed, Carissa. Right. I would be so
Here's
pissed.
The thing. I see these comments, but I'm thinking to myself, Janelle had no idea what they meant about, can we afford this?
Wait, Vanessa said, I'd take the cake home with me.
Oh God.
Right. Someone said, I would give them the top tier and take the rest home.
But here's the thing. Value has different meaning for different people, right? And what that meant is they may have come into the bakery with a $2,000 budget and they're thinking, well, that's kind of cheap. And Janelle's thinking at that time, oh, wow, I'm hearing their story.
Cake.
And because of the fact that you don't know what they're talking about when it comes about affordability, I'm looking for something that's a reasonable price. If I say what's a reasonable price to me and my 19-year-old daughter says, I'm going to find something reasonable price, that's going to be two different things. Right. Because I may be thinking, well, I'm willing to pay $500. That's reasonable. And my 19-year-old daughter may be thinking, I'm willing to pay $50. That's reasonable. So you have to make sure you understand that it wasn't the customer's fault. The customer was vocalizing what their intent was, but the language of what it was as far as what value, what cheap, what affordable means was different between the two parties. So you can't assume that I know what valuable, what cheap or expensive is to someone versus what they think of it.
I understand what you're saying, and I 1,000% agree, but I think it's different from what I'm saying. Okay. I set you guys up. Like I set you up because I knew that you would all say you were pissed. I knew that you would all be upset with the customer. I knew you'd call the customer names. I knew you would want to throw the cake at them. I knew you'd want to hoard, which you did, that you spent all this time on. And what I'm here to tell you, sis, is like, it's not ever the customer's fault. It's always yours. So you're sitting up here devaluing your own magic. That's not blame that can be placed on anyone else. That's you being circumstantial about what your prices are. That's you saying, okay, well, if she walked in a Louis Vuitton purse with a Louis Vuitton purse, I would have charged her more. But because I felt like she hustled me, that's the only reason I gave her a deal. That's not how you run a business.
Back in the day, we used to say, when sales going to be made, you get controlled or someone's going to sell you.
You keep bulldozing my point. My point is I need for you as of today to take full responsibility for the fact that I never in your life want to see you as a business owner be mad or blame somebody else for something that you were responsible for. It's your responsibility to stand firm in what you think the going rate is for your magic. That's the point of this, right? And so if you put in here that you would be pissed at them, that you would throw the cake or take it home, I want you to understand like that's a habit and a mental block that you have right now around why you're probably only charging what you think people are willing to pay, what you think they can afford, which is directly tied to your scarcity mentality around money. This should be something big that you get right now, like an aha moment, because it's about you devaluing your magic. That's the point of this.